Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Nelson. You're watching Nature Nell, and if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm sure you're wondering why I have this X shadow. I'm in my greenhouse and it's good lighting because I wanted to show you guys this tutorial and I wanted the best lighting possible, and it's here in my new greenhouse. And so the structure on top has like weird shadowing, so can't do anything about that. But anyway, I'm going to show you guys here. Let me try to get away from the shadow. I'm going to show you guys today how to repot phals. A lot of you have so many questions on how to repot your phals, what medium to use. It is the simplest thing in the world. At least for me, this is what I discovered in my environment. I water every day. Now my phals I try to do every other day because they do stay wet with the sphagnum moss. But the trick is, and I got to get the screens. I'm always going to go back and forth. So through the magic of editing, I will make it shorter. The holes, you don't want any medium or anything to go out through there, even though there's no medium here that I don't really need the screens. But if you use other mediums, it's always a good idea to put a screen over it. You can get them at Temu. Pot screens are called, and they're like, I don't know, I think I paid like $2 for 20 or 30, something like that. But that's always good practice so you don't lose your soil. But in this case, I don't even really think we need it because I'm using styrofoam and sphagnum moss, which this is the one I like to use, guys. This sphagnum moss is the best. I don't get paid by them. They don't sponsor me. I wish they would sponsor me. It's a great company. I really love their moss. And I will tell you, of all the moss that I've used for my phals, I noticed a huge difference when I started using this. Always has good practice. This is always good to have because you want to use this like if it's the Holy Grail. This stuff will, this stuff will keep your tools from getting any type of virus or bacteria or anything, that you can transfer on. And never, ever, ever use your tools on two different plants. After every plant, doesn't mean after every use. If you're using it only on one plant, you know what I mean. So anyways, I have two things here that I want to repot. I have a bunch of phals that are in these little cups that I can't stand, but I totally understand why they use them for travel, for the vendors and the growers. I get it. But to keep in your home, they're horrible because they tip over, they could break your flower, and I don't know, I just don't like them. It's not something, I would prefer this, where it's a regular, plastic pot, than to those, but those are way better for traveling. So when you get international shows and things like that, that's what they bring them in because it's much cheaper, less weight, and it's less room. So I have this one, which is two phals. Here, I'll bring it up close. This is two phals in one that I planted about a year ago. Ooh, the shadow's right there. That I planted about a year ago. And now there's this controversy I've been hearing online lately, saying that don't put your orchids together because they'll compete. Not with me. I'm not going to say it hasn't happened to other people because I don't know what other people's experience are. But in my experience, proof is in the pudding. Here are two. They don't look like they're competing, and they're both giving bloom. So I don't have that problem. I have plenty here. Here, I'll show you this one, which is right at reach. Hopefully it won't be too difficult to pull out. Now it is gonna, hold on. This is a spotted charm. There's four. There's four in here on this cork. This is like 3 years ago. And it's already been blooming for me. Again, no competition here. And look how beautiful it rooted. So, I think it all depends on the person. Not the person, I'm sorry. The place that you keep them in. I think that has a lot to do with it. I live in South Florida in an extremely tropical place, so maybe that helps. I don't know, but I've never had that problem. I've had several that I've grown to specimen, but I've also liked to fast forward and get a specimen as quick as possible like that. So in 2-3 years, you have a specimen. And I started doing it, I think it was with my Rincon Stylus chandelier that's over there. And it's doing wonderful. Again, no competition. So I wouldn't go out there and say don't do it because they compete. Just say, you know, if you had that incident, then say I personally had an incident where they competed, and then there's a recorded incident from somebody else, and then we can study the environment, the temperatures and all that, and see if that plays part of that. Because honestly here, it doesn't matter. They love growing as partners. I have a bunch of these that I've been doing in twos. And the trick is, guys, face them, you know, they have a front part, right? So you're not gonna face the front parts facing each other. And it's very easy to see. It fans out. So if it fans out, oh, I'm sorry, let me see. See, if it fans out the 3 that way, then it points that way. If it fans out this way, then you point it that way. You don't want to flip them around because then they'll compete. So maybe that's what's happening. They're not adjusting them the right way. That could be, honestly. Oh my God, I'm making a mess in here. My OCD. All right, so let's get started. Let's start with this one since it's the one making a mess. And I got to put my eyes on. And it is 92 degrees. It's not as bad as yesterday. Oh, the shadows drive me nuts. But it's bad. And so it gets muggy and coopy. If that's even a word. All right. So you're going to get a terracotta pot without the Home Depot tag. There we go. They come off pretty easy. Sometimes they do have that. You know what? I'll take the rest out later. So anyways, you get a terracotta pot, just like this. Now, styrofoam bits, you can order them on Amazon. That's where I got mine. It's these bits right here. I'm sure you guys have seen them because everybody orders online nowadays. So there's always, so I'm not putting the screen on because we're already putting the bits. So this is basically it. You only want to put the very bottom because that's going to give you enough drainage. So that way, if you overwater, the water stays on the bottom and the plant will absorb all that water. But always test your moss. Just stick your finger at least, I would say about 1 inch. And if it's dry, then you can rewater. But if you feel moisture, leave it alone. It's fine. The plant could actually handle a dry out. I let my phals. Whew, it's hot. I let my phals dry out almost like fasting, right? Like it's okay to fast. Now, if you fast too long, it's not good, right? So you want to do that with your phals. You want to fast them from water. So just let them do a little dry out for a couple of days and then drench them and let them rinse out, and you're going to see a major difference. So this, you know what? I'm going to do this here because I'll take these out. Now, I don't know if I'm going to do all these with you guys, but I will do at least 2 because these wood things, they don't last too long. You know, they start breaking down very easy. So I'm going to flip it over, even though I know this is going to come out super easy because it's just so. And I'm not wearing gloves today because I don't want to. I was trying to come up with an excuse. I'm like, I just don't want to. It's too hot, you know, and wearing those latex gloves in this heat is like. Now, I know a lot of you guys are like, there's so many different ways of repotting your phal, you know, and how you handle your phal, or not just your phals, but your orchids in general. That, you know, so, see, I didn't harm one root. I knew it was going to come out easy because that wood was so rotted already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go, because I don't have the hose here. I'm going to rinse all this out and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I am back. that shadow is driving me crazy. Because I'm like playing shadow dancing. All right, so I noticed, I'm gonna do it right here. I'll pick it up later. Maybe I'll do it right here. You can see it. Man, that shadow really is in the way of everything. There's some roots that are dried out. When you see them like this, stringy, you can cut them off. You can go ahead and cut them off. I hope you guys can see this. Hold on, let me see. Man, why is it right there in the way? All right. Now I know some people, these are dried, so I'm not gonna put anything on the ends. Besides, I'm the one who's grown these, and I know they're healthy. They have no virus or anything like that they can get sick. And I know a lot of you guys like to put cinnamon powder. I mean, that's what general market likes to use. I use it sometimes as a band-aid more so than a cure-all type of thing. I rather use 1-to-1 peroxide with water and spray the ends, and then perhaps put the cinnamon on top as a band-aid so it could seal it. So when you guys cut, let's say like an area, a stem or something that you have to cover, spray it with 1-to-1. So it just makes, if you put 1 ounce of peroxide, 3% peroxide, put 1 ounce of water. All right, now fill the bottom, the surface of the styrofoam peanuts. We fill them up. We don't want to leave any bare I don't want to put the plant on the table because there's so many of those wood scraps, and I don't want to get anything. I sprayed it really, really well. All right, so let me show you. So you want to cover it like that. Now phals are really easy because, plus you want to re-wet. That's another thing I almost forgot to tell you. You want to wet the roots to make them flexible or pliable. And then you want to lay them right over that bed. And strategically, I hope you guys can see this from there. You want to start filling in all those areas. You never, ever, ever want to place your phal completely in the moss. It is actually safer, in my own experience, to expose some of those roots that are at the very center of your plant. And in this case, these are 2 plants that intertwine together, so the roots are already going to be exposed on the top. So for me, I don't mind leaving those slightly exposed, but I do want to fill the inside because it's almost like a cage, right? And then the plants or the leaves come out this way. So you want to fill that cage with your finger without breaking any roots. You don't want to start like jabbing it in there. It doesn't have to necessarily. And I say this for my OCD people because I'm like that. You know, if you tell me, oh, it has to be this way, then it's like, I want to like overkill and over ambitious. You don't have to be that way with this. In time, if it needs more moss, what the moss does, between the heat, the hair, and the repotting, and the shadow, what happens is the moss will start settling in, and then you could just reapply some on top. So it's not like, as long as you're keeping everything moist and not bone dry all the time, your plant will be fine. And the reason I tell you terracotta is because terracotta, for some reason, it does really good with orchids. I believe it holds the right amount of moisture, So it holds the right amount. Can't speak. It holds the right amount of moisture, but it also releases the proper amount. It doesn't hold it in there. Like, you know, some of you have said don't use glazed pots. That's true. You know, glazed pots can be used, but if you're a beginner and you're just starting, don't use them, because you have to know how to gauge the water and all that kind of stuff. They can be like, and when I mean glazed, it's like this, you know, and it has no hole in the bottom, or like this. See, I use them for holding material. So see, I'm pressing, but I'm not like overly indulging in the pressing. It's just enough to let everything go in between the roots and hold moisture. As long as the roots have some type of moisture, there's a stick in here. Something holding moisture around it, you're golden. It's not something you need to overthink, honestly. And here we go. I'm gonna leave a little bit exposed this way. All right. I thought that was maybe a little too exposed. And there you go. Man, I wish I would have thought of this this shadow thing before. So there you go. This is basically it. And it's firm in there. It's not going to move. It has a good drainage on the bottom. And the good thing about this is that because it has the styrofoam bits on the bottom, it'll drain faster. It'll dry faster. So the main, or one of the main problems why a lot of people kill fowls is overwatering or over moisture. So this is going to keep you on the safe side. So for me, it's been the best outcome. As you can see, these were tiny. I bought these from Wilson. Oh, I have to get the tags. You know what? Actually, I'm going to make a tag for it, because those tags are very tiny. I got these at Wilson Orchids about 2 years ago, maybe, in Redlands. And I got them with Terry, as a matter of fact. And I said, you know what? I'm going to put them together and see what happens. And I got these, and then I had another, by the way, this is called Phalaenopsis bellina. I should have told you guys. Let me show you the flower. It's actually very pretty. It's a Phalaenopsis bellina fire shape, because the shape of the leaves is just starting to open. And yes, you could repot your orchids if it's already blooming. It's not gonna, if you're gentle and you're not treating it, you know, harshly, she's actually gonna probably get even stronger now, because it's a slight bigger pot, bigger space. And notice it's not that much bigger than what it was. It's a good size for something this big, because you don't want to oversize it. If you use too big of a pot, the plant's going to die. It doesn't like to be in a very big environment, loose in there, because they do like to be tight and cozy. So let's do one of these. I already know which one I'm going to do. All right, guys, I had to edit that because I realized I needed to get more water, more moss, and then now the light is changing, and I didn't think this through, but it is what it is, and I'm not changing it now because I don't know when I'm going to get another chance to record. It's been really crazy around here, so I'm going to do the best I can. So I'm here standing on this side because, see, so when I start doing the repotting, I'm trying to speed it up. When I'll do the repotting, then I'll obviously do it here. But anyways, I got more moss. I went back and got more moss. So I'm gonna use, I just got these at Home Depot, and these are, I think, 6 inches. These are the 6-inch, doesn't say it anywhere, but, and I like these a lot. These are the ones that are made in Italy, so they have a little bit of a, you know, let's style to them. So this one, because it's more narrow at the bottom, you don't really need that many. See? So it's just to fill that enough in there. Now, with these here, I sometimes, believe it or not, I don't take them out of the moss that they come in. Sorry. I leave them, look, here's a fine example. This is from Mike Mims from Blue Ridge Orchids. And that's how he does his. And when he actually gave me this as a gift. When I saw this, I felt so proud of myself because honestly, I just tested it out one day because I had a box of the styrofoam peanuts from a orchid that Jeremy in Hawaii had sent me, and it was a box like that filled with with peanuts. Oh, I cannot lose the tag. Here it goes. It's a Youngho Gelb Canary MS crossed with Jiffon Lover. Here, I'll put the... Ooh, this is tricky. You can tell this is not a What's in Bloom. What's in Bloom is very different. I could actually do these a lot easier. So anyways, I know Mike, and Mike uses very good quality moss. This is a very young plant. This moss is not old. So when I see it, and look, I'll show you right up front. It is very clean. Now, I know that some people are screeching, how can you do that? But I've done it. And I have Phalaenopsis in there. Well, if you guys seen my What's in Bloom, a lot of those phals in there, when I repotted them, I didn't remove. And you guys saw how much blooms I got this year. And those are all they're gonna have to be repotted because, where are you? Where are you? I have to find a happy space because as the sun moves, the shadow moves. So you guys, if you go back and see, they bloomed so heavy today that they tipped over today. This season that they tipped over. So I'm gonna have to repot every single thing in there, but I'm not doing that now. Once the season is gone in the fall, I will do it. So when I know that it's a very good medium that it came in, I don't disturb the root. Sometimes the plant appreciates it even more. Now I did do that with the other one because of the wood. It's just too disgusting, and I'm not gonna leave that in the roots. And I don't suggest that you should either. But this one is going to be easy peasy. And the reason I'm showing you this is because I don't like to work hard. I like to work smarter. Don't work harder, work smarter. For me, it's something that has worked very well. And if I know already where my plants or my orchids are coming from and the mediums I use, then it makes it so much easier for me when I repot. And up till now, honestly, I've had no encounters with doing this in it. Now I've even taken a orchid, a dendrobium, and exactly how it came out of the pot, I put it on a wood mount, and I have it there. It's doing great. It's blooming a lot. It has a lot. It's a white anosmia, but I'll show you guys that on my What's in Bloom. So look how beautiful this looks. And hardly no disturbance to the roots. That's it. That's all you have to do. You're gonna see how big this plant is in a couple of months. I keep saying plant, this orchid. So in little time, we've done 2 beautiful pots. I'm trying to see, maybe this is what I'm gonna use. Hold on. What do you guys think? Well, by the time this comes out, without the glasses, the Martha Stewart of orchids. Ding! Oh, it is late afternoon. And I was gonna make coffee because I was kind of dragging, but then when I got to, oh, and by the way, don't ever forget your tag. Always place it in there and make sure it faces outwards so you can read it. All right, let's do another one. This is fun. And by the way, I just picked up some of this. Again, I don't get sponsored, paid, or anything for this, but I will share it with you because it is my lifesaver. I love this stuff. I buy it at Home Depot. This stuff, Savine. Now, people were making fun of me. They said, oh, is that like Tarjay? And I'm like, no, I think that's exactly how you pronounce it. Because if it was 7, it would be an E, not an I. So I think it's Savine or Savin. I don't know, maybe it's Savin. But anyways, this is great for thrifts. And basically, let me see, do I have anything here blue with spikes? With buds? I don't know if you can see that. You basically just spray it. Well, this, I don't want to stream it. I don't know if you can see that. That's it. I'm just spraying the buds. Make sure you let, the wind is blowing that way, so I don't want to breathe into that. Now that was only for demonstration purposes. Only when I do this, I'm very careful. Oh my God, this shadow, it's following me. It's a dance, hey. But when you spray, it's not that toxic. It's safe to put on vegetables and fruit, but you know, you don't want to breathe that in. And when I do it, I always try to figure out where the wind is blowing, and then I go in that direction. So that way it just takes it away from me. All right, let's do another one. This is like 2 scoops of raisin, but it's 2 scoops of styrofoam. You know, I'm trying to let my hair grow long. I'm sharing some personal stuff because I used to have it long a while back, and my my favorite celebrity in the world, and I'm not really a celebrity guy kind of guy, but I do really admire this guy because he's so amazing and things that he does in his personal life, and doesn't brag about or puts it out there, is Keanu Reeves. And I dressed up, I'll put the picture there, I dressed up in Halloween as him. And I love that look. I actually had let my hair grow long and then cut it in that shape. And I said, you know what? I cut it right after Halloween. I cut it off really short. And I'm like, I didn't enjoy that cut for long. And I think I should. So I'm trying to. But with this heat, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with this heat. It may not last long. So you guys tell me what I should do. Do you think I should go back to my crop look? You know, my fade and very short, which is very comfortable in the summer, to tell you the truth. Or should I go ahead and leave it long? Have the patience and go through it and just do it like the photo. All right, this one's really tangled in there. And I know this is fresh, because when I got them, I got these at Orchids in Bloom from Pam. And these were fresh. These were all like her dendrobiums that they had just put. And you can kind of see, she says they've been there for a while, but the moss is very fresh. So I'm not really gonna take too much out because it has a flower. So I don't really want to disturb it and cause the other one, this one was okay. Like I said, the wood was so bad, it wasn't, the thing just fell right off. But if I start pulling here, I may break or do something to it, and that's no bueno. So don't be afraid. I know, like my friend Melissa, she's like a dissector. And you know what? It is good practice if that's something that you like to do, you know, to really go in there and clean out all the roots and cut anything that's old. But like I said, this is something I've been doing now for several years. It's not something that I just started doing. And I'm going to show you guys in a couple of, here, let me get out of the shadow. In a couple of months, we'll revisit these. And you're going to see they do have a little bit of water stain, but I'm going to clean them up. right before I put them inside. But look how pretty. And this one is a Phalaenopsis Redson Queen. Oh, the sun is definitely calming down now. And these are my tags. I actually tagged this because I lost the tag, and I called Pam and she immediately had it. I'm like, thank you. I was so worried because I'm like, I'm really trying to get everything in my greenhouse tagged, and I'm almost there. There's a lot still missing, but it's way better since I got my printer, my little printer. So I'm just gonna do 3, guys. I think that's more than enough for you guys to get the gist of it, and for me to get out of the shadow. You are. I think this is it. I can't hide anymore. Hold on. Excuse me. All right. Whew. What a task, but we got through with it. I hope you guys, I don't even know if you can see this. Ish. There's 2 here that I'm gonna do later, but you can see all 3. They're so pretty. Every time something gets repotted, it looks really, really pretty. But the shadow does not allow for you to see it. Let me see. Definitely Martha Stewart would have had this all thought out. Would have had studio lights. So there they are. Here are all 3 of them potted. I'm very happy with it. I know they're gonna do magnificent. I'm probably gonna start putting them in my because I could put them in my quick tent, but it's getting crowded in there. So I just have 1 slab in there where I've had these. I'm gonna keep them in there because they really like it. As you guys can see, they're blooming. This one goes back to the quick tent because that's where it came from. So anyway, let me take off. I think I just swallowed a piece of sphagnum moss. It was flying. Or a bug. Oh, all right, we got through with this. I'm happy. I hope you guys learned something. This was something I've been wanting to do. Now I am going to do more. I'm going to do my bat plant. I'm going to repot that one in all-purpose soil, which is what I had it before, and I got a bigger pot because it's bursting out. It's all roots. So I'll be doing a repotting of the beautiful bat plant, and that's a very, very, very big. That one I'm gonna have to really think about how I do this. I'll do that, and I'll also do Cattleya repotting. I'll show you how I mix my mediums, because a lot of you have been asking me, do you use lava? Do you use this? Do you use that? And my answer is yes. I use everything. I use lava, charcoal, sponge rock. But you know, once you start learning about your own orchids, you're going to start picking and choosing what you want to add or subtract from your medium, which is what I'm learning even now after all these years of growing them. I'm learning that certain Cattleyas prefer a little bit of more humidity, and others like to be bone dry. And there was one that I discovered the other day, and I was going to mention it to you guys, which, by the way, I want to show you something that I just learned, and I think it's fantastic because it's a great, great, great tip. I don't know if you guys knew, a couple of maybe like 2 weeks ago, we had the Redland show, and then I did a little like happy hour here with some of my friends and the crew of the Orchid Girls, all the YouTubers. And Carl Smith, the boys, and Frank Smith were here. And he saw my Paphiopedilums, and one of them, I said, they all look good, but look at this one. I go, what do you think this is? Do you see the tips? Well, this is what he told me that he learned, I guess in a convention or something. I can't remember exactly where he learned it, but he said it took him a long time to figure out that this is salts depositing in the ends. Excuse me. I feel like a dryness in my throat. These are salts that deposit in the end from fertilizing from May on. He says when the month of May comes in, you stop fertilizing. And I had just fertilized in April, so and in May. So I told him, how funny that you say that, because I fertilized these about a week ago. He goes, none of the other ones, thank God, I don't fertilize them anymore, but this one, that's what it is. So if you guys have Paphiopedilums, avoid fertilizing them after May, from May on. And I think you start back like early spring, you can start back. But he said stop fertilizing them after May and they'll be perfectly fine. So that was something that I was really like, I had no idea. So I said, I'm going to share this with my viewers because I know a lot of you do have Paphiopedilums, and they're hard to grow for some people. So maybe that'll help you grow your Paphiopedilums a little better and not, you know, suffer from what happened to my path. Now the sun is perfect. See, no shadow. Now when I'm closing the channel. Hold on. Cling. Oh, I think I'm delirious. All right, guys, stay tuned for another What's in Bloom that I'm going to be doing very soon, because there's a lot of blooms that I did not show you, and some that were opening from the last What's in Bloom. And the other repottings, I'm going to do Cattleyas, and I'm going to do, I might do my Peristeria alata. I may just do that one because it's busting out of the pot, but it is spiking, and I don't know if I should even, I could literally just pop it out. So it's not one of these that I'm digging but that's one that I heard you can't really be messing around with the roots too much because it could alter the whole cycle of the blooming. So we'll leave it there. All right, guys, that is it for today. Thank you for staying around this long. I am Nelson. You're watching Nature Nell, and remember to always keep it green. I will see you in the next What's in Bloom or repotting. One of the two will come soon. Bye.